Hi, baby Ds. My name is Dr. Stefani Kappel, and I'm a board-certified fellowship-trained cosmetic dermatologist in Newport Beach, California. And today I'm going to be doing a video on Emsculpt. So I wanted to do a video on body contouring in general because summer is coming and my beauties are coming into my office and asking for body contouring treatments. And of course, I do all minimally invasive body contouring without surgery, without much downtime, without much risk or side effects, and have beautiful, natural-looking results without surgery. And so Emsculpt is one of my favorite tools in our toolbox for body contouring. We do a lot of Kybella, which is injectable fat dissolving solution, which can kind of customize and contour, the curves and areas where we have a little bit of stubborn fat, but I'll do a whole different video on that. That's a whole nother video. And we use Sculptra, of course, for a lot of booty volume and growth, but also Emsculpt. So Emsculpt is my main player in the device world for body contouring, and I'm going to get into it why. But before I move on, I ask that you like and subscribe and share this channel with anyone who wants non-sponsored content from a board-certified dermatologist. Now, I'm a rarity on YouTube because I don't have any coupon codes, I don't do any paid sponsorships, and even in this video talking to you about Emsculpt, you'll be able to tell that I'm not sponsored because I don't speak for the company. I love Emsculpt as their device. However, the same company has an Emface and a Neo, which I'm not a big fan of, but I really do love their Emsculpt machine and I think it works amazingly well. So I'll go ahead and talk about that. So share this channel with whoever wants non-sponsored content, and thank you so much for your support, because the only way to grow on this channel, because I don't do paid partnerships and I'm not in contract with other companies, which can sometimes give you exposure to other subscribers, it's just by word of mouth and sharing this channel. So I appreciate it. So what is Emsculpt? Emsculpt is a device that is used to build muscle and build growth of the muscle hypertrophy, to give beautiful shape and firmness and tone and definition to the body without surgery. And it basically is inducing muscular contractions in a way that exercise alone and lifting in the gym and working out that can't achieve on its own. And I'll get into it why. Because people will say, well, that's just for lazy people. Why don't you just go to the gym and work out? Trust me, guys, if you follow me on Instagram, I'm at the gym at 5 a.m. every morning and I work out 5 days a week. Usually I work out Monday through Friday. I take the weekends off and I have to work out at 5 a.m. because it's the start of the day. I'm freshest, I'm strongest, and I'm more focused at the beginning of the day, because after work, after with 2 kids and, seeing, I love what I do, but seeing, patients in the office every day, I'm exhausted at the end of the day, and then I have to go pick up my kids and all their activities. So I just work out at 5 a.m. every morning. I lift, I do cardio, and I'll do actually a whole video on my exercise regimen and what I eat in a day, because you guys have asked me to do that too. I do a lot of intermittent fasting. It just goes along with my schedule, and I'll do a whole video dedicated to that too if you guys are interested. So drop a comment, let me know if you want to hear about that and more specifically what you want to hear about. But getting back to Emsculpt and how it works with working out and lifting, it's not a substitute for working out or lifting. You still will get results if you don't lift or work out, but it's more for people who just want added definition and tone. And if you're not putting in the work in the gym, it doesn't work as well. But for someone who works out 5 days a week and is religious about it, it's really taken my results to the next level. So I'm a petite girl. I'm not a candidate. I wasn't a candidate for liposuction fat transfer because I don't have fat to liposuction and transfer to my gluteal area back in the day. I guess it's not a thing anymore, but when that was in. And so my only option was to grow my glutes and use, minimally invasive procedures like Sculptra to add volume. And then Emsculpt came around. I got the device about 1.5 years ago. And the cool story is that the way I got the device is the company came and they're like, why don't you have an Emsculpt machine? Have you not heard about it? And I'm like, actually, I have heard about it because a lot of my colleagues were talking about it at our academic meetings. I read published articles on it and I knew it was an amazing device. I just was more focused on, I do more facial and neck rejuvenation and aesthetics and not as much body contouring. But when they brought it to my office, they're like, this would be perfect, because you're non-invasive and for body contouring, it's amazing. And so I said, well, my colleagues love it. Yes, let me give it a try. So they dropped it off in my office for about a week. Well, of course, I strapped it onto myself. I did treatments on myself. I did treatments on my staff, and everybody had these amazing results. So I'm like, gosh, I have to have this machine in my office. Even if it's not for patients, I want it for myself. So that's how you know a company has a good product, because they'll let you play with it, they'll get you hooked, they'll let you see the results, and then they'll take it back and say, well, if you want to get this then here we go. And Dr. Matt Avram from Harvard, who is the cosmetic director at Harvard Medical School, Mass General, he actually gave a lecture on Emsculpt. Now, I already loved Emsculpt because I had the device, I saw the amazing results it was giving my patients and myself, but he actually taught me something, and that is that the Emsculpt technology induces these electrical pulses, which are safe and healthy and not without any side effects, no deleterious side effects. It induces these muscular contractions by activating the fast twitch muscle fibers. Now, when you exercise or you're lifting or you're at the gym, you're inducing the slow twitch muscle fibers, but you can't activate the fast twitch muscle fibers. So when you do Emsculpt, you're targeting the fast twitch muscle fibers, and then when you work out and you go to the gym and you're activating the slow twitch muscle fibers, they just work together synergistically in a way that gives these next level results. And I saw it myself, and you guys know me. I wouldn't promote something that didn't work or didn't have amazing results. I just don't do that. And so that's the mechanism of action. That's the way it works, why it works so well. And because you're recruiting all those muscle fibers that you're not able to recruit when you're exercising alone. So when you do go to the gym and you work out and you're lifting, you're doing your deadlifts, you're doing, your Smith machine, you're doing your squats, you feel so much stronger, and you actually can feel all the muscles activating. Like, when you have your mind muscle connection and you almost are, activating those neural pathways to those muscles, you feel stronger and your workouts are better, and then your results are next level. So I can't say enough about Emsculpt. Again, I'm non-sponsored. I have no ties to the company. I really love this device and recommend it for my patients. And I'll show you some before and afters. Sometimes my patients are a little hesitant to let me post before and afters, but we've gotten incredible results. And probably the most common areas where we use Emsculpt is on the abs and on the gluteal area for booty growth. So even for myself, it was hard for me to grow my glutes. I'm a petite girl. It's hard for me to have any curves. I've been working on it my whole life. It's like my biggest insecurity that I'm like shaped like this, just skinny, petite, without much curves or volume. But really, I feel like the Emsculpt has made a big difference. Now, a lot of people will also ask, how long do the results last? So these are the treatment protocols. When it first was launched, they said 4 treatment sessions within 2 weeks. And that gives you your results, and those results last about a year. That's how long their clinical trials went for. So that's how long the results lasted. So from personal experience, if you guys follow me on Instagram, I did the Emsculpt series of 4 treatments in 2 weeks about a year ago. And then before, I had 2 trips. I had 2 trips to Tulum, one for my birthday and one for a fun festival that we went to. And I did Emsculpt about just 1 treatment about a week before the vacation, and I noticed results. It gives you like a little bump in your results. It's kind of like lifting right before, you want to have like a photo shoot. It just kind of pumps up your muscles and just makes them look more, more volumized and more contoured and defined and toned. So I did 4 treatments in those 2 weeks, and then I did 2 extra little sessions when I wanted a little extra pick-me-up. And that's the treatment protocol. Now, at recent meetings, I think they've been trying to figure out better protocols, different protocols to kind of increase longevity and maintenance of your results. So now I think a lot of offices are doing the 4 treatments within 2 weeks, and then maybe doing like a maintenance once a month or every other month or every 3rd month or once before a vacation or an event, if you want like kind of like a little bit more of a result that shows a little bit more. But it definitely lasts for about a year, and I can speak from personal experiences that I noticed my results have lasted for about a year. So just recently, because we're coming up on a year and because I'm going to Cabo in 2 weeks, I recently strapped myself up and did 2 treatments last week on my glutes and my abs, and I'm going to be doing another 2 treatments this week on my glutes and my abs, and I'll post my results. I'm not shy. I'm very open with you guys, and I'm 46 years old. I've had 2 babies and had a huge weight gain with both of my babies, and it's been really, really helpful to keep just tightening things up, and just with diet and exercise alone, it's a great supplement to it. So I can't recommend Emsculpt enough. I'm trying to think of other questions that people usually have. People say, does it really work? Yes, it really works. Does it replace exercise and lifting? No, it does not. Can it be used if you don't exercise? Yes, but you'll get more out of it if you're more fit to begin with and have, more musculature in the areas treated. Does it reduce fat? That's another question that comes up a lot. It does reduce fat. It wasn't FDA approved because it wasn't studied to reduce fat, but I think there has been noted to be a 20% increase in muscular volume and a 20% decrease in fat reduction. I saw that in a paper somewhere. I have to probably look that up again, but it was also discussed at a meeting that I went to recently where people were talking about decreasing the fat and increasing muscle volume, where it's more marketed just to increase muscle volume. But I heard and read that the reason why it decreases fat, it doesn't melt the fat like Cool Sculpting does by taking it to a lower temperature or taking it to a higher temperature like some of the other fat dissolving devices do. It just increases the metabolism because you're having so much muscular activity and contraction and burning of ATP and metabolism of calories that I think your fat stores over the treated area get diminished. So I like that better than liposuction or Cool Sculpting because your metabolic activity of the muscles is melting the fat. It's a more natural pathway, which makes it a more natural result. I loved Cool Sculpting when it first came out back, I think after I had my second baby, back in 2014, I went straight to the Cool Sculpting device, and it did stretch out my skin. You have to have it drawn within a handpiece, and it can stretch out the skin. It can cause paradoxical hypertrophy of fat. Liposuction can do that too. And again, because I'm non-sponsored, I can speak freely about these devices, and that's how you know I'm authentic and non-sponsored, because I love Allergan as a company. I use all their injectables, but Cool Sculpting, which is owned by Allergan, is not my favorite device because I've seen too many, for candidates who aren't good candidates for Cool Sculpting, I've seen too many side effects and deleterious outcomes, stretched out skin, paradoxical hypertrophy in other areas, mainly skin laxity after Cool Sculpting, which you don't have that obviously with Emsculpt because you're building muscle and tightening skin and decreasing fat in the areas treated in a very natural pathway without those risks or side effects. Liposuction, I see patients in my office all the time for revision of liposuction scars or filling in areas where there's divots from liposuction with Sculptra to add volume, or if people have had liposuction and there's undulations or there's irregularities, melting fat with Kybella, and then filling in fat, or areas where there's too much with Sculptra, and it's just a big mess, and it's just sometimes so uneven in the texture. I'm not a big liposuction fan. So liposuction, Cool Sculpting, I'm not a big fan of it. Again, I've had a Cool Sculpting device and I used to love it, but then I just saw too many unhappy patients. And even on myself, I saw skin laxity that I had to tighten up with Thermage after Cool Sculpting because it just sucks that skin into that handpiece. And then when the fat's gone, your skin's like all stretched out. So I'm not a big Cool Sculpting fan. And again, I hope I don't make anybody mad or piss off anybody by this honest content, but it is what it is. I'm dedicated to you guys and just sharing honest and true information. So that's my opinion, and I can't say enough about Emsculpt. And these minimally invasive procedures go a long way, and you don't have to have some big, crazy, horrific surgery with this downtime and scarring and all this investment, when you can kind of achieve a lot just by doing things like Emsculpt and a little bit of fat dissolving Kybella and a little bit of Sculptra. Of course, it's not going to give these crazy overwhelming results if there's like a lot that needs to be done, but it's a good fine-tuning option and a great tool to have in our toolbox. So last but not least, I want to talk about the areas that you can use Emsculpt. So of course, on the glutes, it recruits your gluteus maximus and minimus, your piriformis, all those muscles. And keep that in mind too. When you're working out and you're lifting, you may be just, recruiting a percentage of those muscles, or just maybe how when you're working out with a trainer, they'll say that's your outer glutes, your upper outer glutes, your hamstrings, or the under booty. This gets the whole thing, and you just lay there for 30 minutes and it recruits the whole thing, the whole muscle, all the muscles, the whole area. And then on the abs, it recruits all the abdominal muscles, and in such a way that all those muscles are getting recruited at the same time that exercise alone, you would never be able to recruit 100% at that time. I think you're only recruiting about 15 to 20% per workout. So other areas we can use it besides the glutes, the abs, you can use it on the biceps, on the triceps, on the quads, even on the calves. So there's different hand pieces that you can use everywhere. Again, I think the abs and the gluteal area are the most common areas. And for people with diastasis, it is a great treatment to kind of help tighten up diastasis. I've had numerous patients where they didn't want to have surgery for their diastasis, and Emsculpt got them there. The only contraindication for Emsculpt is if you have some type of like metal plate, or if you have an IUD, then you're not a candidate for it. And then also if you have a hernia. hernia. So if you have any documented hernia, then you're not a candidate. You have to have that repaired before you're a candidate for Emsculpt. So I know the question is going to come up, well, Dr. Kappel, you love the Emsculpt machine, but why don't you have an Emface and a Neo? So Neo is basically a skin tightening device in conjunction with the Emsculpt. And Neo is not my favorite for skin tightening. I love Emsculpt for building muscle. I think they have, a total monopoly of that space, because in the muscle growing space, Emsculpt, there's nothing like it, nothing that really can compete with it, and it's kind of the first of its kind at this time. But for adding skin tightening on top of it, the Neo isn't good for skin tightening. So say somebody wants some toning and rejuvenation of like the abdominal area. Say after having babies, they have some loose, crepey skin and they want to lose a little bit of fat and tone up their muscles. Doing Emsculpt with a Thermage would be my choice, because you want to get the player in the game that's best at doing that job. Emsculpt is the best at building muscle and toning and defining that musculature, and Thermage is the best for skin tightening. So instead of doing a Neo, I would do a Emsculpt for the muscle because he's good at that, and I would do a Thermage to tighten the skin on top because he's good at that. So that's kind of my vibe. And then also Emface doesn't really make sense to me. Emface is supposed to increase muscular hypertrophy of the muscles in the face, but Botox is the tried and true gold standard for minimizing the effect of fine lines, wrinkles, and dynamic rhytids on the face. So you're Botoxing the muscles. So why would you have a device that activates the muscles? That's just counterintuitive. So that's why I'm not a big Emface fan. So I don't have a Neo or an Emface, and that's how you know that I'm not sponsored by any company, because I love the Emsculpt machine, but I don't like the other two products that they have. And I'm just being honest and authentic with you guys. So thank you guys for joining and for hanging out with me, and just drop a comment in the comment section if there's a topic on Emsculpt that I forgot to include, or any other questions that you guys have or topics that you want me to discuss in my next video. So thank you so much, and I love you guys.